this time, John, we're looking at deer, and I believe these are Père Davids, but I thought they'd been extinct in the wild for 3,000 years.
Well, the Père David is a deer that's one of the great mysteries of the animal world, because no one knows exactly when they became extinct in the wild, but they survive now, as many species do, simply because we keep them in captivity and breed them successfully.
How did they become extinct?
Well, nobody even knows that. They were discovered in the grounds of the Imperial Palace in Peking by Père David, a French missionary, who was also a great naturalist in the early part of the last century. And somehow or another, and again nobody knows quite how, some were brought back to Europe. Captive breeding groups were started at Woburn in this country and some zoos on the continent. And from that beginning, we've built up to a world herd of in excess of 300 animals, and they're really doing quite well now.
So the whole thing really is a sort of romantic mystery. Are they there or are they not?
Very romantic, and the fact that they were saved for zoos in Europe was so fortunate, because immediately after they came to Europe, they were wiped out in China itself, firstly by floods, and then by troops killing them at the time of the Boxer Rising for food.
Oh dear. They're very large deer, actually, John, aren't they?
In many ways, they're a very peculiar deer. They've got a tail rather like a poor pony's tail. When I say a poor pony, I mean a sort of rat tail. They've got these very large feet,
Yes.
which are designed, we presume, for keeping them going over marshy ground.
Are they good swimmers?
They're very good swimmers, and they do have this extraordinarily funny face. In fact, the French call them milou, which means funny face.
And they've got, I'm sorry to pull them down, but they've got rather funny horns as well.
Well, deer and all the deer family, in fact, have antlers and not horns.
Antlers, not horns, right.
Now, cattle and goats and antelope grow one horn in their lifetime. If it's damaged, it's never repaired. If it falls off, another one never grows. Deer grow antlers every year. And these are antlers that were grown not this past year,
Gosh.
but the year before that.
That's just in 1 year?
In
all
1
that
year.
growth?
Now these were when the males that we've been looking at were relatively young animals. And this year they're going to have antlers that are at least twice as large.
So these just dropped off?
They just drop off. As the new ones come through, they force these out. You can see the tips where they
Yes.
actually fell off, rather as when children grow their second set of teeth. The original set is pushed out by the new set.
Now, which way round would these go on the head?
Well, we've actually got them the wrong way around, but that's the way they would sit on the head.
Right.
Now,
Now,
when
what's this stuff around them, actually, at the moment? Because their antlers don't look anything like this.
Well, it's what is called velvet, but it in fact is skin, which has got blood vessels going through it, as all skin has, to keep the skin healthy. And that will go on protecting the antlers till they grow as large as they're going to grow for this year. Then the skin will begin to die, the blood supply will dry off, and the animals themselves will rub the velvet off on posts in the paddock.
Does that not look pretty gory?
It looks terrible. For about a week when this is happening, we get well-intended visitors coming to the office and saying, "Did you know that one of your Père David deer is badly injured? It's bleeding and the skin hanging down."
Ooh.
And then when they get to this state, the males begin to come into rut, which means they're ready for mating.
Right.
And for about 8 weeks, they're mating, they're skirmishing with each other.
That's the clacking that you
And
can...
that's right.
Right.
And they're roaring with their heads extended in a quite dramatic way, really.
How many calves do you hope for this year?
Well, we've got 3 females old enough to produce calves, so I should say fawns, not calves, because they're
Fawns.
deer.
Right.
And we would expect to have 3 fawns, hopefully around June of this year.
That would be wonderful news, wouldn't it?